Good morning and welcome to another edition of Maysville in the Morning on this Friday where we actually have school. I'm Pete Willison.
And I'm Miranda Martin. Will you please stand and join us to sing the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now will you please remain standing for a brief moment of silence.
Thank you. Now for this morning's announcements. Panther Pals who received a meeting notification are reminded the meeting is today, Friday, during 6th period in Mrs. Stott's room. Money is due by 10 a.m. See Mrs. Stotts if you will not be attending.
Girls' 8th grade basketball practice will be tomorrow from 1 to 3.
The Maysville Earths Club newest fundraiser is a cash pool based on guessing the height, weight, sex, and birthday and time of high school social studies teacher, Mr. Canfield. See Taylor Tapman, Jason Maxwell, or Mr. Canfield for your chance to win. Winner gets a percentage of the proceeds.
Also, Mr. Dreier's 1st period 6th grade class needs to report to study hall today, and 5th period art history also needs to report to study hall.
Most students don't get a chance to sit down and chat with Superintendent Mr. Bainter. Instead, we had him sit down with us for a little fireside chat.
Good morning. Now we're sitting down with the superintendent of the Maysville Local School District, Mr. Bainter. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Pete. How are you today?
Thanks for sitting down with us. I am great. Thanks for joining us here on Maysville in the
Yes.
Morning. Now, let's talk about a little bit about what the students are all wondering about. What's happening with the Performing Arts Center?
Well, we're going to be making some decisions on that, and I hope to have more information for the staff and the students here in the near future.
Well, sounds exciting. We can't wait to hear more. And so you mentioned something to me the other day about how your procedures are about calling school off or giving us a 2-hour delay. What goes through your mind?
Well, there's a lot of things that factor into that decision. First of all, obviously, if it's snowing really hard at night and there's many inches of snow on the ground, we try to cancel school or at least delay it the night before. So if it's snowing very hard and the forecast is for snow, please pay attention to the local media outlets. Now, if we get snow that happens throughout the night, what happens is I usually get a call or I wake up close to 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I do go out on the roads, I drive the roads, and I make a decision. And I try to have a decision made, and I contact Mrs. Pickrell, and by 5 o'clock in the morning, and then from there she informs all the media outlets, and she gets it on the web page immediately. That's so anytime we have snow that happens over the night, the best place to go and for the earliest place is the website.
So between the hours of generally like 11:30, when the news ends at the prior evening before, and about 5 in the morning, there's not really any updates?
There's not really any updates that occur from there. But I do ride the roads. I get up early in the morning, I ride the roads, and all the superintendents around the area, we do talk to one another to get a good idea of what's happening in some different areas, so we kind of know what's coming. And we do try to make that decision together.
So do we have 5 calamity days this year?
We do. That was put back into legislation last year. We do have 5, up from 3. So we have the 5 days, and luckily right now we haven't had any snow days. We did have one day we weren't in session.
So the animal day, is it going to count as a day against us, or?
We're still waiting to hear on that. When you apply after we close school for snow or weather or anything like that, we have to apply to the Ohio Department of Education for that calamity day. And there's only certain reasons that the Department of Education will accept. Obviously, with the incident that occurred in October, no one would have ever known that kind of incident would have occurred. So there was no checklist or no box we could check that would say that's a calamity day. So we're still waiting to hear from the Ohio Department of Education, not only the Maysville Local School District, but Zanesville City, West Muskogee, and Foxfire. We all closed on that day. So we're waiting to hear. That may be a forgiven day, or it may have to be made up. But we're waiting to hear, and we will unite those districts with the Department of Ed if we don't get a ruling on that.
Well, let's hope that they feel that it was a pretty important day to take off. I don't know about you, but kind of glad we weren't here.
Well, and the sheriff did order the schools closed on that day.
Yeah.
The schools that touched that property.
Yeah, so it wasn't even your decision.
That was not my decision. Even though we would have closed, the sheriff did order the schools closed.
All right, well, thanks for your insight, Mr. Bainter. Hopefully to have you back on a few episodes in the future. Always good to get a little administrative view towards the students so they can be more informed about what's going on, at the board meetings and such like that.
Look forward to that, and I invite all the students and the staff to check out a board meeting and have conversation with our student reps. You and Olivia Hamilton.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Have conversations there. We really want student voice in decisions that we make. You're going to be hearing from me in the near future in regards to planning for the upcoming year and also early college high school. There's a lot of things that are on the future right now that we're real excited about.
Great. Well, we'll have to see you in a few weeks, Mr. Bainter.
Thanks,
right
Pete.
Now,
Appreciate it.
we'll send it back to you, Miranda.
Also this week, Correspondent Joey Hammers sat down with middle school intervention specialist Mr. Goldsmith for information about the new LEGO robotics program.
Good morning. My name's Joey Hammers, the very good-looking correspondent for Maysville in the Morning, sitting here with Mr. Zach Goldsmith, the coach of the LEGO robotics team. So what is LEGO robotics?
LEGO Robotics is a system developed by the LEGO company. You probably know them as the little bricks that you see in the store. This is a little more involved. You can build simple machines or robots or sorting, lots of different things you can do, and then you use a computer and program them so that they can move and take actions.
Now, do the students program them, are they taught to program them, or is it more of a trial and error type thing?
My co-coach, Mr. Hansel, him and I work with the students on programming the robots. We have a little trial and error they go through, and they learn how to do some simple things. And as they get more practice at it, then they start programming them on their own.
So approximately how many students do you have in this program at the moment?
This is the first time we've done it, and we have 20 students in the program right now. That's about our max for what we have. It's pretty expensive to bring this to the school, and so that's kind of where we're at. So through the month of January, we're at our limit. In February, we're going to have more sign-ups, and we're going to have an advanced program for those that have already taken it, and then a new beginner program for the kids who haven't.
What are the requirements to join, like cost or anything like that?
There's no cost to the students to join. When the sign-ups for 21st Century After School come around in late January, early February, we will just sign up, and we'll take the first 20 that sign up, and they're in.
And exactly where can these students sign up at?
Pamphlets will come around their 8th and 9th period class towards the end of the month.
Sounds like a really fun program. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
All right, back to you, Pete.
Now let's take a look at this weekend's weather forecast. If we look at the 3-day forecast for this weekend for Zanesville, Ohio, we can see that today we'll be seeing a few snow flurries, nothing too much. If it's going to be 42 degrees, we won't be getting a whole lot of snow, maybe a little rain. For Saturday, same thing, 42 will be our high, and we'll see just a little bit of snow flurries. And Sunday, it'll be getting sunny, but it'll only be 34 degrees. If we take a look at the full screen weather radar, we can see that it's coming through the mid-Ohio Valley, pushing right through central Ohio. Columbus is where it's about to split up, and it will probably get rain running along I-70 as it pushes its way off, and we'll wrap things up. Now let's send it to Mr. Scott Gura, who is our field correspondent, to find where in the world is Scott Gura.
Good morning, Mr. Gura.
Morning, Pete.
Where are you at, Mr. Gura?
Mansfield, Ohio Snow Trails.
You're at Ski Club?
Yep, Pete.
What Ski Club was last night?
What? What? Last night?
Well, while you're there, will you give us a quick weather report?
It's cold.
It looks like it's snowing.
Snow too, Pete.
Well, hopefully you can find a way to board your way home, Mr. Gura.
Is it downhill all the way home?
I think so. Can you give us a trick?
All right.
Looks pretty skilled, Mr. Gura. You should probably find your way back to Maysville now.
See you, Pete.
See you next week.
See you next week, Pete.
And that, students, is why Mr. Gura won't be here today. Well, that's all we have for this week's edition of Maysville in the Morning. I'm Pete Willison.
And I'm Miranda Martin.
You stay classy, Panthers.
We'll see you next week.